It's long.
It's long.
We're going to just build a little bit, and we're going to definitely have our guests, because we're here to hear him today, Brother Zion Lexx.
It's long.
We appreciate you being here, Brother Zion Lexx. Avdi-El Levi, right? Chief Avdi-El Levi. Chief Avdi-El Levi. You know, the brother is a powerful brother. We share the same birthday, me and Brother Zion Lexx, as well as Amir. So when I be watching him, I be laughing because it's like I know how he thinking, because we got the same type of mind frame when it comes to how he move and how he plan things. So it be fun. I be laughing. I be like, yeah, that's a Scorpio for you right there. You know what I'm saying? So I appreciate the brother, and the brother gotta understand is that, you know, he's bringing out information that nobody has never really heard before publicly. That he's challenging the so-called Black conscious community on the comedic level, but he's asking questions that they can't answer. And the brother might not know it, but when you do that, you're defending all Abrahamic faith. Whether you be a Muslim, a Hebrew, or even a Christian. He's defending all of us. So, you know, we got to give honor to that. And that's why we wanted the brother to be here, because the brother's day sage. You know what I'm saying? The brother information is, like, I watch the brother, I love the information. And, you know, when you deal with people who deal with adept information, adepts recognize other adepts. You don't have to be physically initiated into some type of society to recognize an adept. Adepts are born. You're born being an adept. So no matter what school of thought you come from, you can recognize another adept when they talk. You're like, oh, that brother's an adept right there. You can hear it. Because at the end of the day, knowledge don't contradict each other. It only differs through your culture and the society that you're in. But truth is truth. I don't care if you Buddhist, a Muslim, a Christian, a Hebrew. When you're dealing with truth, truth don't change or pass away. It's long. So you're going to always hear truth. No matter what school of thought a person is from, you're going to recognize that truth and be like, all right, that brother dealing with some truth. So when you look past the cultural boundaries and look for the truth, you're not going to have no boundaries. You're not going to see no division. So when the brother be speaking, the brother, he definitely dropping that information. So that's why we wanted the brother to be here. And you know, the brother's a powerful brother. But I'm going to go into a little bit of information. The Sheikh broke down the Hebrew connection with the Moors. See, the problem with the Moors is that they're not following the Hebrew law. And the problem with the Hebrews is that they're not proclaiming nationality. We have a problem. Because the Moors just broke down that when you want to navigate politically, no matter what tribe you was from, you had to identify yourself as a Moor to navigate politically so you won't be subjected to Negro codes. That's why you had our Hebrew brothers who knew those, understood it was a part of the Moorish Empire, and they navigated politically as a Moor. So we have to begin to recognize that. That's why I always have a connection with my Hebrew brothers, because I want my Hebrew brothers to proclaim their nationality, moving politically as a Moor, and I want my Moorish brothers to adhere to the Hebrew law. So we kind of like a dilemma, and we gotta fix that. It's long. So you know, most of us here, we adhere to the Hebrew law. You know, because in accordance with the Holy Quran of Muhammad, as the brother just demonstrated, that you have to adhere to that law. I went through this topic before, but I'm gonna kind of elaborate a little bit more. I'm not gonna go deep into it because I'm not gonna stay up here long. But it's a big misunderstanding that some people say that Allah is God. But guess what? You laughing, huh? Allah is not God. It's long. The word God among the English-speaking people called the supreme being is any living entity or person. Allah definitely is more than anything. So when you look at the definition of God according to the English language, it means a thing. That means that, what is a thing? A thing could be that chair. That thing could be your fez. The Most High is beyond a thing. So when you call the Most High God, you're actually limiting him to, limiting that power to a thing, and the Most High is beyond a thing. So when you actually refer to the Most High as a God, according to the English language, you're actually setting up partners with the Most High. Islam? Allah can never be a supreme person, for a person is identified by a physical body. Those who believe that the Creator took a shape in a body must also believe that scientists, mere men, have complete knowledge of the nature of the universe. You see, the Most High, we refer to as Allah, but when you study the Sufic mystics of Islam, they say La ilaha illallah, who mean he. So we know that the Creator's name is Huwa, he who he is, or Yahuwah. So in Islam, we recognize that Allah, which is the title, but his name is Yahuwah, or Huwa. So we say La ilaha illallah. He is who he is. That's the mystic name of Allah. So if any Moors or any Muslims have a problem with the name Yahuwah, they didn't understand in the name of the Most High. Islam? You see, man has blood, if composed of the exposed to extreme heat, he would feel pain. So if the Most High takes on a physical body, then he could be subjected to feeling pain. And if he's subjected to feeling pain, does that make him the Most High? The Most High does not come in a person don't come in a body of a person. When you read about the Most High, when you read about angelic beings, those are the Elohim. In Arabic they call Aluha. It means those powers or those beings. And those beings came and talked to mankind. But the Most High is all powerful. But you know one thing the Most High does not do? The Most High does not reduce himself to be less than the Most High. Because he reduced himself to be a man, he will not be the Most High, because he'll be subjected to pain. He'll be subjected to death. He'll be subjected to the physical limitations of the body. So if he's subjected to the physical limitations of the body, how can that be the Most High? Islam? That's why we don't say Jesus is the Most High. That's idolatry. Because he prayed. Who he prayed to? And when we talk about Yahshua, we not get caught up if this is a real person or not. We're dealing with the principle of the story. Islam, we don't want to be like, is that person real? Or now we're not dealing with the principle of the story. According to the story, he prayed to someone higher than him. Islam? So a person, because one of the definitions of God is a supreme being, which is a person, and a person could be killed, could be ran over. So if you call in the Most High, or Yahuwah, or Huwa, God, you actually limiting the Most High. Because a person could be subjected to death. You know, I came from the nation of gods on earth when I was a young man, and I understand that we are the Elohim. We are living Elohim. We are living powers, but we are not the Most High. I was like, one day I saw this brother in a train station in Broadway Junction. I said, yo, peace. I'm the supreme being. I'm God of the universe. Peace, God. I come in the name of the King, original Allah. He said, yeah. He said, you don't blink for 24 hours. He said, don't blink for 24 hours, God. I looked at him. I said, man. He said, if you God, you the supreme being, then you can control you not blinking. I said, man, he got me on that one. He got me on that one. So the belief that Allah, or the creator of all life, can be anything is also incorrect. There is one thing that the Creator cannot do. Well, I'm saying there's something that the Creator cannot do. Is that something like, why? How can the Creator not do something? This is the Creator. He can do everything. So I'm saying that the Creator can't do something. Is this blasphemy for me saying this? The Creator could not do may sound very strange. The ability to regress Allah, the Most High, cannot become less than himself. Otherwise, he would not be no longer be Allah. If anything was taken out of the all, it would not no longer be the all.
Wow.
So if you can't take away from the Most High. Because you take away, then you make him other than the Most High. So one thing the Most High cannot do, the Most High cannot regress. Because then he won't be the Most High. We refer to Allah as the all. The all cannot be taken away from. We all exist in the all, but we are not the all. We exist in the mind of the all. We have our very being is from the all, but we are not the all. It's long? So the name Allah surpasses all other names from the Creator. God is Guma Azdabar, wisdom, strength, and beauty. The word God was put together by the Greek God or Theos. To worship by God could have a goddess. There is nothing counterpart to the Most High. So when you call the Most High God, it's a goddess that goes along with that. Now you're setting up partners with the Creator. You're setting up partnership with the Creator. He can't be a God because there has to be a goddess. Islam? Give me the Holy Quran of Mecca, chapter 2, verse 163. I'm not going to be long.
Surah 2, ayat 163. And your God is one God. There is no God but He, gracious, most merciful. Islam?
It's using the term God there because it's translated into the English, but it will say Allah. And, you know, when you study Arabic, Allah is not translated to mean God. Give me the Holy Quran of Mecca, chapter 13, verse 16.
Surah 13, ayat 16. Say, who is the Lord and sustainer of the heavens and the earth? Say, it is Allah. Say, do ye then take for worship protectors other than him, such as have no power either for good or for harm to themselves? Say, are the blind equal with those who see, or the depths of darkness equal with light? Or do they assign to Allah partners who have created anything as He has created, so that the creation seems to them similar? Say, Allah is the creator of all things. He is the one, the supreme and irresistible.
Islam. Do you see the correlation between the Torah and the Quran of Muhammad? It's based upon the belief in the one God. See, the Prophet Muhammad, he was what they call a Hanif. The name Hanif means the upright ones, and they followed the religion of Abraham. There were a group of Arabs in Arabia that followed Abraham's religion or way of life prior to Muhammad being born. Muhammad came from this line. Muhammad was influenced by Hebrew Israelites, don't get it twisted, but he was already believing in a belief in a one God already, from this group called the Hanif. See, the Hanif is known as the Essenes. The Hanif is known as the Magi, the Magus. The Hanif is known as that great white brotherhood. the order of Melchizedek, the order of angels. This order always exists amongst humanity. When humanity went on a decline, there were already always a brotherhood to bring humanity back to the belief and the belief of the one God. So you can always find this in all societies. When humanity goes on a decline, there's always an order that will raise up to bring people back on the path of the one God. Akhenaten was one of them. So when you call Allah God, you are actually guilty of polytheism. You're actually setting up partners with the Creator because a God has a goddess. See, the Prophet Noble Ali, he gave us our early stages of development of Islam. So he said the Father God Allah because we didn't know who Allah was. So he had to say God so we could have the connection. But as we develop, we can't be stuck in that dimension. We have to grow. We use the foundation. We have to go. We have to understand where he was at during that time. He came in 1913. But now it's time for us to study and realize, you know what? God was a term that he had to use. He's identifying with that term, but we got to call him Allah. And his name is Hua, Yahuwah. And I know, Zion Lexx, he might go into the whole Aramaic and Hebrew and show the connection because some of our brothers think that Allah is actually a different deity. But if you're an Israelite, if you live in Arabia, you speak Arabic, what you going to call the Creator? So we can't get caught up in these things. Islamism and Hebrewism is two arms of the same body. So we got, it's little differences. Don't get it, it is some differences. But at the end of the day, it's more similarities than differences. So I want to just touch on that. I'm not going to go too much into that. I'm just going to touch on a connection with the Hebrews and the Moors, and then our brother's going to come up and do his thing. Shalom. I have to give honors to Moorish Shalama Israel. Shalom. That's one of our teachers. I always, we have to give honor to our elders. I always studied the Hebrew-Islamic connection, but when I met Shalom in Israel, he made things a little bit crystal clear for me. So, and we coming to Mount Horeb soon. Me and Brother Sadiq was talking about we're gonna come down. So honest to you. So give me the introduction to Circle 7 Quran where it talks about Joshua and he pushed the Canaanites out of the land of Canaan.
After Circle 7, by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the industrious axis of the Muslims of Northwest and Southwest Africa. These are the Moabites, Hamathites, Canaanites, who were driven out of the land of Canaan by Joshua and received permission from the pharaohs of Egypt to settle in that portion of Egypt. In later years, they formed themselves kingdoms. These kingdoms are called this day Morocco, Algiers, Tunis, Tripoli, etc.
The name Yahshua is a Canaanite Phoenician origin. Joshua, it could thus be identical to the word Y-A-W-S-H-U. In fact, Y-A-W appears to be mentioned as a god river in the sea of ancient Canaan Phoenician city of Eucharist. So they're connecting this name to a Canaanite deity in Canaan in Eucharist. He is believed that the real name of Yahshua is of Aramaic origin. W-A-Y or Y-E-U-O is like W-A-M, the God of the sea that's mentioned as one of the Elohim, the sons of El. When you study the Canaanite pantheon, they could trace this name, this Yah name, to a Canaanite pantheon. Israelites and Canaanites, I'm sorry, we intermingle so much you cannot identify, recognize the two. The only way you're able to recognize a Canaanite from an Israelite, because if the Israelite or Canaanite was not following the law or the Torah, they would mark their body or wear certain clothes that would distinguish the two. But you have some Canaanites that was following the law. So you cannot distinguish a Canaanite who kept the law and an Israelite. And you cannot distinguish a Canaanite that didn't keep the law and an Israelite didn't keep the law. You cannot distinguish, they intermingle so much that they even develop the same phenotype. That's how much they intermingle with one another. We the same people. It's the same. The name Jerusalem is derived from the word Jerusalem, which is U-R-S-H-A-I-L-M. The city of Salam, the son of El. Salam or Salam was a god of dust. This was a Canaanite god. So when you say Shalom, Islam, you actually giving reference to a Canaanite deity, the god of dust. This was from Canaan. So when the prophet says we're descendant of ancient Canaanites and Moabites who inhabit north, west, and southwest shores of Africa, all Canaanites were not idolaters. All Canaanites were not idol worshippers. Some Canaanites with belief in El Elyon, the Most High. Melchizedek was a high priest in Salem. If I'm a high priest and I'm in Brooklyn, and y'all live in Brooklyn, and y'all feeling what I'm saying, y'all gonna start coming here and listen to what I'm saying, become a follower of me, right? So if I'm in Canaan, and I'm talking about El Elyon, and there's Canaanites around, they feeling what I'm talking about, what they gonna be? They're gonna join. They were Canaanites that followed Melchizedek. So the name Jerusalem is actually of a Canaanite origin that goes back to a Canaanite deity of the sons of El, the god of dust. So we say Islam Shalom, that goes back to that deity. The name Sadiq or Tazadak or Sadak or Sadiq is the god of medicine and healing. When you look it up, it goes back to be a god of medicine and healing. It goes back to Canaan. So the name Melchizedek is actually of a Canaanite origin. It goes back to Canaan. Some Hebrew brothers call the language of Hebrew the tongue of Canaan. Islam, Shalom. So we have to begin to recognize that we are the same people. The Egyptians, when they identified foreigners who came into Egypt, whether you was a Canaanite, an Amorite, or an Israelite, they called you the Habaru. So if you identify as a Canaanite, if you came into the land of Egypt as a foreigner, they will automatically identify you as a Hebrew or a Hebrew. So, I'm going to get into something in a minute. So Canaanites were identified as being Hebrews, according to the Egyptians' concept when they saw them come in. Islam? I'm going to break 2-3 things down and I'm out of here. In West Africa, a statesman and scholar, Sultan Muhammad Bello, 1779 to 1837, wrote that the Yorubas were descendants of the house of Canaan. He said they settled in West Africa, Yorubaland or Yoruba Jews of Nigeria. They are Jews in southern Nigeria who were called the strange people. So he's identifying that these people came from Canaan and from the house of Canaan. So the people who came, the Yoruba people are of the Ephraimites, but they also of the house of Canaan as well. When you read Babylon chapter 2, he's identifying those people as Ephraimites. But when you read this particular scholar, Sultan Muhammad Bilo, he's saying that they came from the house of Canaan. See, we cannot be dogmatic in our information. We have to look and examine the information to see, because when I came into more of a science, I said, yo, why is Noble Jordan saying that we are Canaanites and Moabites? This is like, I couldn't understand it. So I wasn't really with that. You know, me and a brother was under CM Bay, so we was like, you know what, we gonna, you know, we recognize the prophet, we're gonna really deal with CM Bay. That's more like the science, and you know, 'cause we didn't understand that at the time. See, when you read the scriptures about Lot laying down with his daughters, the word daughter don't always mean a physical daughter. The word daughter could mean a woman who's a part of your particular community. It could mean a woman of your tribe. It doesn't mean that Lot actually laid down with his physical daughters. We got to understand that. It don't necessarily mean that it was an incestual relationship. Maybe the pale-skinned Jews want to portray that because they want to portray all Cushites, Amorites, Moabites in a negative light to push their racist agenda. I'll talk a little bit more until the brother come back. So we got to begin to understand is that the Canaanites and the Moabites and the Israelites were identified as the same people. So when you read about Eber in Genesis 10 and 21 signifies the term Hebrew. And the Kemetic people at Peru, the Egyptians used this term around the 2nd millennium to describe all nomadic aliens. Aliens were evidently any external or non-Egyptian subject. However, this would not mean that all such aliens were not at least partly Kemetic in ancestry. Such a term could have been applied to immigrants, Amorites, Canaanite people, and Moabites. So it's saying that even though you might have some Kemetic ancestry in you, if you was not from that pure stock, you would still identify amongst them as Hebrews. Islam? So I'm gonna Islam.
You just have to make a quick add on it.
No problem.
The term Hebrew, when you see it, you see it in the
You can stand up, brother, so they could get it. You could hear him? No, let him come here. You could,
I just want to make one clear, because I'm going to be going with this.
okay.
Just two things. First, the term Hebrew is used in two senses in the Torah. The sense that you're talking about there is used as a descriptive word, or a person who comes from the other side. And within the context of how it's used, it's usually someone else saying Hebrew. But there's another sense in where it means that we derive ourselves from ever.
Islam.
Right, which is where the native term, Hebrew comes from. The other term, the other way that it's used is used as a descriptive term. And it's always used by someone else saying Hebrew, and it came from someplace else.
Islam.
One more thing, and I'm out. I'm finished. The Yoruba, there's two lines of them. One line, yes, is coming from in the oral tradition, some of them say they come from Egypt. Some of them say they come from Canaan. And then you have the others who are what do you call the brothers over in the southern side of Nigeria. The ones that's coming up now that the Yehudis is going after. But in Nigeria, in Ile-Ife, when you come into that's the capital city. It used to be that as soon as you come into the capital city, they had these stone pillars that had ancient Hebrew on it. They took the stone pillars and put it in their museum. Now maybe there's wooden ones or something, but that ancient Hebrew identified them as coming from Canaan. Because the Moabites, the Hebrews, the Phoenicians, they all used that ancient Hebrew script.
It's long. It's long. I'm going to say one more thing, if I find it quick fast. And this is very important. But I just want to show the connection that we share with one another. So that's why it's important for the Moors to adhere to the Hebrew law, and it's important for our Hebrew brothers to proclaim their nationality as being Moor, because you are still being identified as Negro, black, and colored, and therefore, according to law, that's actually a slave brand. But I want to find something here that's really important. If I can't find it, I'll just say it off my head. So it was a gentleman by the name of what's his name? Penicius, Procopius, right?
I think
Yeah, that's it.
we went into that a little bit.
Okay. Yeah. Procopius.
Yeah.
Procopius, he talked about, he was one of he, prior to the biblical account of Joseph, the son of Nun, going into the land of Canaan and pushing out the Canaanites into Algiers, Morocco, and Tunis, who he said were Canaanites, he said in his time, he identified them as actually being Moors. But we know that when, in 70 AD, when the Israelites had to flee from Jerusalem, they went into West Africa, and they also went into that same area of Tunis, Morocco, and so forth, which was a part of the kingdom of the Moorish kingdom. So he's saying that these people, these Israelites, when they came amongst these Canaanites, they begin to amalgamate. Now you see a pretty Canaanite woman, and we know Solomon and all these other people, when they saw them, what they were doing. You know what I'm saying? They begin to amalgamate with them, so you could not distinguish them. So he's saying in his time, those descendants of those Canaanites and those Israelites were identified as Moors in his present time.
Wow.
He identified them as Moors in his present time. That means that if me and you was during that time, we'll be identified as Moors. And Moor does not mean black. That is a misnomer, but it's what they call a connotator.
Yeah, it's connotative.
There's a connotative meaning. So today it means black, but etymologically the word black means pale. So Moor cannot mean black. I've got you a minute more. The word Moor means one who was a part of the Moorish Empire. If you get an etymology dictionary, look up the word Moor, you're gonna see that. So if the Hebrews were the part of the Moorish Empire, then what would that make you politically? What is your political identity? It's not black, it's not Negro, it's not colored, it's not African American. Politically, you have to be identified as a Moor. So my Hebrew brothers, you are Moors. You're not black, Negro, colored, African American. And my Moorish brothers, you have to adhere to the Hebrew law. So I want to work with Chief Avdi-El Levi, also known as Zion Lexx, And we're going to work on having our Hebrew brothers proclaim nationality. We're going to work on our Moorish brothers adhering to the Hebrew law. That's what we're going to do. And this is not something foreign because, you know, I know the brother lineage.